This is a square. Can you guess which spot that goes in?
The square.
That's right. It goes in the square hole.
Yes. Okay.
And how about this rectangle? That one
Also the square.
that goes in there too.
Yeah.
Up next, we've got this thin rectangle.
The thin
Can you guess
rectangle.
where that goes?
The thin rectangle.
That's right. It goes in the square hole. And up next, a cylinder.
The circle.
I think that goes in
The circle.
the square hole. Now, we've also got this semicircle right here. Do you see a slot that would fit
The semicircle.
semicircle?
The semicircle.
That's right. It's the square hole. Okay. Up next, the triangle. We know what hole that goes
The
into,
triangle.
right?
Triangle.
That's right. The square hole. And up next, we have the arch.
The arch.
You guessed it.
The arch.
It goes in the square hole.
We've just come back from a trip to Colorado, and it is easy standing in the mountains to realize and believe in God's majesty. Creation is beautiful, but it's also a reminder of how different creation is. You know, it's beautiful right here, and it's also beautiful at the ocean or in the rainforest or in the desert. It's also different. And yet God created it and declared it good. Think about all the days of creation. So much diversity, but it is diversity by design. And God says this diversity is good. We should remember this when we think about the church. We are God's family, His sons, His daughters. And when God builds something, when God creates something, He's still the same God that loves all the diversity of creation, and He's made each one of us different with a different purpose, a different plan. We are going to look different. Of course, it's true that we're all called to be followers of Jesus. You know, we just saw Ray and Irina baptized. They declared Jesus to be their Lord. They have committed their life to Jesus. But the key is they've committed their life. We're not all supposed to be a caricature of Jesus. You know, every church has that stoic Jesus staring off into the distance with his blue eyes. And there's a feeling sometimes in church that we all need to be squares fitting in the same hole. But in reality, we're not called to be exactly like Jesus. And that's evident when you think about going to Palestine, gathering followers, becoming homeless, getting in trouble with religious leaders, being executed. Of course, we don't need to go and be exactly like Jesus. Instead, we're supposed to be the same in the sense that we make Jesus the Lord of our life. And yet my life has a different purpose than your life. Your life has a different part of God's plan, which means we're going to be very different as we fulfill our calling. And we need to remember this, church, especially as we welcome others and as we make this church a place where everyone can belong. God is calling all the different people to Him. And He's calling all of them with a different plan and with a different purpose. We're all going to look different. And this diversity, God loves it. You know, one thing I love about the video, well, first, I love the lady. You know, she is either epically OCD or just a delightful actor. But she is spot on. We don't all fit in the square hole. And we shouldn't be forced to. And church, we shouldn't force everyone to fit into this exact mold. Instead, we should be prepared to welcome all of God's children and to introduce them to Jesus and allow Jesus to be the Lord, who's created all of these different people, and He wants to lead them and show them His salvation and show them that they have a purpose and a plan. And you have a specific calling from God. And I challenge you to live that out and to love everyone around you, that they too may find their specific place to fit in God's plan.
This is a rectangle. Can you guess where that goes?
The square.
That's right. The square hole.
Yeah.
Up next, we have a triangle. Do you see a hole
triangle.
that'll fit the triangle?
The triangle.
That's right. The triangle hole. Up next, the circle or cylinder. Can you guess where that goes?
The circle.
That's right. The circle hole. We also have an arch. That goes in the arch hole.
Oh my God.
We also have a semicircle.
The semicircle.
Do you see a hole that would fit the semicircle?
The semicircle.
That's right. It's the semicircle. There's a thin rectangle. That goes in
The
thin rectangle hole.
Oh my God.
And last, we have a square.
The square.
You guessed it. That's right. The square hole.
Yeah!